I watched Channel 4 News last night, and I got to 40 minutes in and I thought, are they going to mention the fact that Keir Starmer is under the cosh here? That, you know, Lord Ali and the revelations coming out of the penthouse, the £18 million penthouse are getting worse, that, you know, the Labour Party's, you know, sort of folding in on itself.
It's just a rich guy, and I actually make no criticism of him. It seems he's played his hand quite well, spraying money and favours around the very top of this government. And people hate that stuff. And they also recall that the last bunch that were the recipients of this kind of largesse were the Tories, and they were the ones partying in Downing Street and so on. And guess who was on their high horse criticising it all? It was this lot.
For months, the Labour Party behaved as if it were beyond criticism, acting as though the rules that apply to everyone else didn't concern them. Yet this week, that image fell apart. Starmer, long known for his integrity and fairness, now confronts a storm that threatens to undermine his leadership.
From being, you know, one of the most beloved TV comedians, how did it feel as it's the sort of cancel culture rose and the news stopped? How were you perceived differently by the media, I suppose?
Well, it didn't bother me that much because I thought it was their problem. I thought it was them that were, they're wrong, they're mad. Okay, you know.
It began with whispers about Lord Wahid Ali, a billionaire supporter with close Labour ties, and an £18 million penthouse now under intense scrutiny. The story darkened when comedian Jim Davidson claimed at a private Westminster show that CCTV exists showing Starmer in a compromising situation, reportedly seen by his wife, Victoria, at a charity event. Her reaction was said to be tears and immediate legal consultation, sparking rumours of a fracture in Britain's most high-profile political marriage. Downing Street called the claims absurd. Yet Labour aides are in turmoil, cease and desist letters circulate, legal threats rise, and attempts are made to erase all online traces of the footage. The harder Starmer's team pushes to suppress it, the more people suspect something serious is being considered. Jim Davidson could have let the matter fade, but instead, he amplified it. After reportedly viewing the CCTV himself, he called it stomach-churning, a statement that reverberated through Westminster and seized the political spotlight. Once dismissed as a relic of the past, Davidson's words suddenly carried the weight of a whistleblower. The impact on Starmer has been severe. The man who pledged to cleanse politics after Tory scandals and restore public trust now faces claims suggesting he embodies the very hypocrisy he condemned. Within Labour, unease is mounting, with senior figures quietly questioning whether he has become a liability. Some MPs admit exploring contingency plans to replace him before the next election. Beyond media frenzy, there is a growing sense that Starmer could drag the entire party into a credibility crisis that threatens their hold on power.
That is, for me, possibly the worst and most damaging aspect of this story. That this is a guy who is leading our country, who is the representative of the United Kingdom at the United Nations. You know, he's not the head of state, but he's, you know, the leader of the nation. He has lived a complete lie. I mean, I've said earlier today in the show, I don't know what he gets up to with Lord Ali. I don't know what he does for hours and hours on end at this flat that they seem to be happy to share.
Jim Davidson's fiercest strike targeted Starmer's weakest point, accusing him of being a leader backed by a billionaire donor who might influence policy and shield questionable dealings. To many, this was no longer mere comedy, but a blunt reality check. Adding to the tension, mainstream broadcasters largely remained silent, with Channel 4 and the BBC notably quiet, prompting suspicions of deliberate protection and fueling talk of a political cover-up. Central to the saga is Lord Ali's £18 million penthouse, repeatedly cited in every account, a venue for private Labour gatherings, fundraising dinners, and late-night meetings with senior Westminster figures. For many, the penthouse now epitomises the murky overlap of politics and privilege. The secrecy around the penthouse is fueling public outrage, with Westminster journalists privately acknowledging that key information remains hidden from view, details the public has yet to see. Speculation intensifies. Is this merely poor judgment or something far graver? Adding more fire to the blaze, new disclosures reveal lavish gifts from Lord Ali to the Starmer family, including over 5,000 in designer clothing for Victoria and nearly 19,000 in luxury items for Starmer himself.
The same penthouse. I mean, this is unbelievable to me.
So I think there is something bigger going on here, and it's annoying because I don't know what it is. And I know that the lobby of political journalists at Westminster feel the same. All of us instinctively feel that there is some big fact here that we're not being made.
I mean, I'm going to ask the question because nobody else will. Is it some kind of sex thing, do you think?
So there have long been rumours about Keir Starmer's private life, and they certainly aren't to do with any kind of doubts over his sexuality, if I can put it delicately. Okay. They are to do with his...
Hey everyone, welcome back. Last night's BBC Question Time was a roller coaster, and wow, it got intense, fast. Fiona Bruce was under serious fire live on air as some tough, straight-to-the-point questions came her way. The hot topics? Rachel Reeves' broken promises, and the big question on everyone's mind. Are the rules really the same for everyone? Or is there a double standard? What happened next had everyone on edge. The panel wasn't the only ones feeling the tension. The audience was right there with them. Politicians were grilled on trust, accountability, and credibility, with zero wiggle room, no dodges, no vague answers, no excuses. Every word, pause, and reaction was being watched and challenged. This wasn't just a debate, it was a real lesson in holding leaders accountable and seeing how they handle pressure. Viewers got a front row seat to all the action. No sugarcoating, no distractions, just straight up accountability. You could feel the tension in every question, every follow-up, every reaction. Moments like these remind us why it matters to stay informed and why debates can be so eye-opening. If you want to catch every tense moment, shocking statement and reaction, stick around for the full video. And before you dive in, don't forget to support the channel, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Trust me, this episode had it all. Drama, tension, and questions that really make you think.
Really quite easily understood. It's just a rich guy, and I actually make no criticism of him. It seems he's played his hand quite well, spraying money and favours around the very top of this government. And people hate that stuff. And they also recall that the last bunch that were the recipients of this kind of largesse were the Tories, and they were the ones partying in Downing Street and so on. And guess who was on their high horse criticising it all? It was this.
Rumours about Lord Ali's penthouse reached a boiling point as reports of leaked CCTV footage circulated. Multiple insiders claim the recordings reveal more than ordinary comings and goings, allegedly capturing late-night meetings, unexpected visitors, and private interactions raising ethical and legal questions. The most explosive allegation is that some footage was shown to Victoria Starmer at a charity event, prompting her to leave in tears, seek legal advice, and create distance from her husband. True or not, the perception of a marriage under strain has become impossible to ignore. Starmer's team has hit back hard, with journalists reporting intimidation and threats of losing press credentials, while tech companies are said to have been pressured to remove clips and online discussions. Yet these actions have only magnified the story, fueling public suspicion that something is being hidden. For a leader who promised accountability and transparency, the contrast is stark. What began as a tale of luxury perks has escalated into a far more serious controversy, potentially reshaping his political future. Labour insiders are growing uneasy. Months ago, many MPs saw Starmer as the safest path back to power, but with new reports of secret gifts, undisclosed perks, and explosive CCTV claims, that confidence is rapidly evaporating.
Keir Starmer and his wife pay for their own clothes. Victoria Starmer has been wearing high-end clothes given to her by a Labour donor. Lord Ali recently gifted her more than £5,000 worth of clothing. He's also given the PM items worth almost £19,000. Starmer did declare his gifts to Parliament, but not his wife's. The gifts have now been registered after the Prime Minister sought advice. And the Parliamentary Standards Commissioner has rejected calls from the Tories for an investigation.
Within Labour, some MPs quietly admit they are exploring alternatives, now viewing Starmer less as an asset and more as a potential liability who could drag the party down if the scandal deepens. Rumours of possible successors are circulating through Westminster, a dangerous signal for any leader. The concern extends beyond public perception to credibility. Labour has long positioned itself as the antidote to Tory privilege and hypocrisy. Yet if its own leader indulges in similar luxury perks, how can the party credibly claim to represent ordinary working families? That contradiction is increasingly impossible to ignore. Critics inside the party insist this is more than a PR problem. It's a matter of trust. And once trust is lost, it is nearly impossible to regain. For some MPs, the urgent question is no longer whether the scandal harms Labour, but whether Starmer himself can survive it.
Hear anything. Don't take anything for free, just in case.
It's also, this is like is this the only billionaire that supports Labour? I think it's a bit sad that he seems to, this Ali.
Yeah, he's buying them clothes, he's like, buying them food.
They've got no one else to go, because they said, oh, was it, what's his first name? Is his first name Ali? Yeah, no, his surname's Ali. Lord Ali.
Lord is his first name.
I was looking for it was Lord, yes. Lord Ali.
Yes.
They were like, well, is it Lord Ali's place? He's like, yeah, of course it is.
So he's the only donor at this point.
It seems so.
They would all starve without him.
Lord Ali must be sat there and his phone rings. He's like, oh, Starmer again.
He's just going to give him the bank details.
While Labour MPs manoeuvre behind closed doors, ordinary voters are venting openly, with social media flooded by posts mocking Starmer and his ties to Lord Ali. Memes labelling Ali as Starmer's sugar daddy have gone viral, cutting through polished political messaging and turning the scandal into a cultural joke. For many, it's less about official rules than optics. A leader claiming to champion working-class families is seen accepting luxury clothing, residing in a multi-million-pound penthouse, and allegedly depending on a single donor for perks most could never afford. That disconnect fuels anger and disillusionment, and the silence of mainstream broadcasters has only made matters worse. Viewers notice when stories vanish from evening news, and the void is rapidly filled by online voices, independent commentators, and viral clips, creating the sense of an establishment effort to shield Starmer at the expense of transparency. The result is a deepening sense of distrust, with the public growing weary of double standards and polished explanations. Each new revelation reinforces the idea that Starmer is not the straightforward reformer he once claimed to be, but a figure entangled in privilege and secrecy. Once that perception takes hold, it is difficult to reverse. The penthouse and designer clothing are only part of the picture. At its core, the controversy revolves around money and the influence it buys. Lord Wahid Ali has emerged as one of Labour's most prominent donors, his wealth seemingly flowing directly into the lifestyle of the party's leader, from $450,000 a night accommodation to luxury wardrobes worth tens of thousands, creating an impression of endless generosity.